Hey, I'm Paula.
And I'm Katie.
And we're with eXp Realty.
And this is part 2 of why we moved to Florida.
Okay, let's jump in to talk about insurance.
Yes.
So,
Not
yes, selling real estate. I mean, we get to see like all the behind the scenes of what happens with insurance. And I feel like the insurance companies have gotten here since I moved here 20 years ago. So when you go to buy a home, insurance only wants to see 2 inspections. They want to see a 4-point inspection and they want to see a wind mitigation inspection. So the wind mitigation is everything to do with the roof. The inspector is going to get in the attic. He's going to take pictures of the nails, showing how long the nails are, how far apart the nails are spaced. Are there hurricane clips? What is the life expectancy of the roof? They're going to put the last time the roof was replaced and that roof permit number. So insurance wants to know everything there is to know about the roof. And then with the 4-point inspection, they're looking at your major components like your electrical, your plumbing, your heating and air. Did I miss something? Electrical, plumbing, heating and air. And
well, the roof's on there too.
The roof, okay, that is the 4th thing on there. Okay. Yeah. So they want to see that. And so insurance companies are ultra particular about water heaters. They do not want that water heater to be, some companies will take 10 years and some companies they'll say like 10 years is the limit and some will say 15 years is the limit. So you have to be aware of that. The roof is the other major.
And it doesn't matter if it's still working.
Oh yeah.
I did a house not that long ago. The water heater, the people had lived there forever. It was like the first time this house had actually been sold. The water heater was 50 years old. It was still trucking. Like nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
But it didn't matter.
Well, and the scary part of it is that, okay, so for the average homeowner that knows nothing about real estate, maybe an older couple, they live in their home, it works fine, they have no concerns. And so yet every year they watch their insurance rate creep up, because we see this happen. And it's like the average homeowner has no idea. They just think this is normal, like it's going up. When in reality, I wish the insurance companies would send a letter to say, hey, because your water heater is over 15 years old, your insurance rate just jumped $1,000. Yeah. Because then it would be common sense for somebody to go, $1,000? Hey, I'll just pay to replace my water heater. Yeah. But it's like, I have a customer that lives up in Cedar Ridge. And she was telling me, we were catching up. She said her insurance was $3,500.
Mine's about that because my house is so old.
You're on yours because it's older. That's the other thing. If you have an older home.
Now, I will say my house is from the 50s. It's cinder block. And it has withstood how many hurricanes between 1950 and now, and nothing has gone wrong with it.
Well, and but here's the other frustrating part about that, because some people will say like, okay, a lot of the homes are, her husband is an amazing contractor. And so your home is renovated. Yeah. And so people would think, okay, well, if everything's been renovated, then my insurance rate should not be that high. But no.
They just look at the age.
They look at the age of the home. So like if your home is from the 80s or older, I feel like those people end up paying a much higher premium. Yeah. And so with insurance, I always throw this out there for customers. I'm like, keep an eye on your insurance. If you notice that your rate starts creeping out, like reach out to us, because we can probably walk you through and ask you some of these questions that you might not have thought of and help you figure out where we think the issue might be. Because like on one of my rentals, I got my new insurance premium and it was going up $1,000. I was like, $1,000? Like this house was only 17 years old and we had renovated it. And so I called Ken and I was like, hey, Ken, what's up with the $1,000 increase? And so he was like, I was like, we replaced the water heater. We replaced the electrical panel. That house had high-tech plumbing, which was a plumbing that had a lawsuit on it because it leaked. Well, I missed the lawsuit period. So we ended up having to spend $7,000 replumbing that whole house. And so I said to Ken, I was like, what else? Like everything is pretty much new in this house. And Ken says, well, how old's the roof? I said, it's 17 years old. I said, but Ken, there's no problems. It's never leaked, no repairs. Yep. And he goes,
Doesn't
bingo,
matter.
it's the roof. And so I had to make the decision of, okay, do I pay the extra $1,000 every year, knowing that probably in 7 years, once it hits like, closer to that 25-year mark, I'm probably going to want to replace. So then I feel like then I would be double paying.
Yeah.
So I just bit the bullet, went ahead, spent I think it was $7,000 to replace the roof to keep my insurance rate down.
Yeah.
So I feel like insurance is a little bit of a racket here, but it's part of the price to pay. Like if you're going to live in Florida, it's just one of those, things that you just have to come to accept. So if you have questions about insurance, reach out to either of us. We will put you in touch with our insurance agent. Real simple. You can send us a message with your address and we will get it quoted for you. We'll have our insurance agent reach out to you directly and basically work through, like troubleshoot what the issue could be to basically get your insurance rate down.
Yeah, and I will say, whenever we go under contract with a new buyer, we always get an insurance quote. That reminds me, I got to get these for Cheyenne. We always get a preliminary quote for them, just kind of as a courtesy. It's, you don't have to go with who we pick, but I will say, I would like 9 out of 10 times our person beats any insurance quote that anyone finds outside of them. So we have a really good person that we work with, and we would be happy to help.
Yes, absolutely. And I always tell people, I'm like, look, we're going to get you one quote. And I say, it doesn't matter to us who you go with. Like you choose whoever you want for insurance, but I want them to have that one quote as a baseline.
Yeah, just to go off.
Yes, because for example, we have a lot of military in the area. And so a lot of them have been with USAA forever. And so I've had customers like I sell their home and then they buy with me and then I get them that insurance quote. And when they see that insurance quote, they are shocked because they've been with USAA for years. Like this one lady, I sold her home. It was in Cantonment. It was probably like a small home, 1,300 square feet. And she bought a bigger home. And when she saw the quote, she said, Paula, I've been paying like over $3,000 a year with USAA. And this is probably like 15 years ago.
Wow.
So we'll get you that one insurance quote, use that as a baseline, go shop it around, pick whoever you want for insurance. But that way, if you have our quote and then you get your second quote and you notice it's way up here, that's where the baseline quote is going to help you to compare, to be able to go like, hey, why is this one so high when this one is over here?
Yeah.
So that's our 2 cents on insurance. Termites.
Termites.
Okay.
They're here.
Yes.
Doesn't matter how old your house is.
Yes.
They will eat it.
Yes. Termites are very, very common. So I bought a rental from one of my customers on Berry Hill. And we always recommend to every customer that you do a home inspection, a termite inspection. If you're on septic, do a septic inspection.
Oh, is that the house Joel fixed?
On Berry Hill?
Yeah, I think he fixed that one. Or he worked on it. He did some work on it. I think he repainted the wall after.
Okay. Well, on that one, so we got our termite inspection and the sellers, which were my clients, were so upset at the termite company they had been using.
Yeah, I remember that.
And it's one that doesn't have a great reputation. It starts with a P, that's all I'll say.
And we also, as the years have gone by, we have a nice list.
Yes.
And we with people that we love working with, and then people that that's not so great.
Yeah.
So we always give that to our customers, and these are the inspectors that our clients have worked with and worked well with, and that have really supported the whole process.
Yes.
And made life easier.
And that have a good reputation.
Yes.
And I just want to throw out there, like, there is no incentive for us.
No.
So it's not that we're getting a kickback. So we don't put people on the list because we get any sort of a kickback, but they're just good, reputable companies that we recommend. And so Arrow is who did my termite inspection. And I love Arrow.
They're my favorite.
They are my favorite. And so they went in and so they found, they said, looks like some termite damage here. So we had to call that other company to come open the wall. And they were so upset that basically they had been found out.
Yeah.
And so they ended up, it was like the termites had ate like all.
It was a whole front window.
Yeah. The whole bedroom. And then, I mean, it was a mess. And so that other company ended up paying for repairs. So really important, you have to make sure that you get a termite bond here. So a termite bond, and you want to make sure you have a repair bond, because there's a difference. There's a retreat bond and there's a repair bond. A retreat bond is kind of useless because it basically means like if termites get discovered in your property, you are going to be responsible for all the repairs, which the repairs can be outrageously expensive.
Oh,
and
sure.
So,
I mean, you can replace an entire wall, studs included.
Yes.
Like, bad.
Yeah. And so you want that repair bond, because that means that if they find damage, then the company is going to pay for repairs. And so Arrow ended up...
And there's no deductible or anything like regular insurance. I mean, this is basically termite insurance at your house, but you pay a yearly...
I pay about $350.
Yeah,
with
it's
Arrow.
not bad a year.
Yeah,
but
and they might have just gone up a little bit. They might have just gone up to like $385. Maybe.
I think Milk quoted us. Ours is a little higher because our house is old, but I think it was around $6.
Okay,
but for the year. And when you think about like, if there's termites in your house and they have done things and you don't see them, like you will not know they're there. You could live years and you will not know.
Until it's too late.
And so when you find a wall that has been eaten out of like all of the studs and all of the drywall on the inside, and you have to replace an entire, like we did on our house, we had to replace an entire exterior wall on our house, which, I mean, for me, it's not too big of a deal because my husband does it, but most people don't know how to do that. So, I mean, thousands of dollars as opposed to $600 for the year. And that also includes, it doesn't just include the repair. That does include, when you get a repair bond, it includes them coming out every year.
Yes, they come out every year. They check you have the Centricon?
We don't know.
Okay. They treated they drilled for you. Okay, so they'll come out.
We have the chickens and things running.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. So they come out every year, they check. And so I love them. And I mean, Arrow's great. And there's some other great termite companies in the area.
With that are really good here.
Yeah. So, okay, let's jump into, flood insurance.
Yes.
So a lot of times people have this misconception. I'll meet a customer and they had another realtor in the past, and they'll say to me, actually, this happened to me. Heather and Byron? They had a home, and so their previous realtor in Pace had told them this is not in a flood zone. And then guess what? They had a retention pond right behind the house. That this is over in Pace by the library. Like now they've redone that whole area, but in a heavy rainstorm, that ended up overflowing and their house flooded.
I think it was the first or second summer we were here. We have this. It wasn't a hurricane. It was just a regular tropical storm, just rain.
Yeah.
And right through like Evelyn area, it flooded so high. I mean, it was covering up the mailboxes. Like it was waist deep. And we had looked at a house. I don't remember if you remember that house on Evelyn we looked at. It was like a total gut job.
Was that over the river?
No.
Okay.
No, it's like right across from like Lowe's. And
oh, gotcha. Okay. No, I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was. The house was great size-wise, but it would have. We did a renovation loan in our house, kind of preface that. So we were looking at things that needed to be fixed. But this one really, it was a bit much. But anyway, then we found out that it was, 2 years after we moved here, this massive rainstorm, and I saw pictures of people waist deep on that street. And I was like, good thing we didn't find that one.
And so I feel like,
but again, not a flood zone.
Well, okay. And that's the tricky part is that realtors that use that term, not a flood zone, I feel like they're going to get in trouble using that, because technically everything is a flood zone here. It's just a matter of, is it a low risk flood zone, which is going to be zone X? And so I live in zone X. Are you in X?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you live in zone X, your lender, if you get a mortgage, does not require you to get flood insurance. However, flood insurance is always optional. And so Scott Peters just got flood insurance when he closed 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So he was in a low risk area. And so his flood quote ended up being $400.
Oh yeah. It was so
super
cheap.
Low. So keep that in mind. Just because you're in a low risk area, you could still get flood insurance, because they say every year, 20% of the claims happen in areas that were low risk, meaning like weren't supposed to flood, had a very low risk of flooding, but they flooded. Now, if you're in a high risk area like zone AE, if you're closer to the water, or you may not even realize that you are close to the water, but there is a creek running behind your property somewhere.
We have a bunch of creeks.
Yes, we do.
Filter all the way through this upper area.
And so people might think like, oh, Blackwater River. They may be thinking like, the bay, but they may not realize like if you are by one of these creeks, your property may be in that high risk flood zone area. And so there's a link to the FEMA map for the property you are interested in. So if there is a property that you're interested in, you're not sure, let us know. We can send you the link to the FEMA map so that you can see, and you'll see on there, the blue is like high risk. And then you can see like, okay, if the blue's here and your house is right here, that might be like really close, that you might want to consider just going ahead and getting that flood insurance.
Which will probably be pretty cheap, because if your house is outside of the blue, it's low risk. So it's really affordable. I think. Even the higher risk, I don't really know.
Well, if the high risk is expensive. Because I ran into Cody and Francesca, who we sold to on the beach. And so he was telling me when I sold him the home, that was his homeowner's insurance was like $4,000 a year. And then now his homeowner's insurance is like $12,000.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And that includes the flood?
I don't remember if it did or didn't, but but
beach properties are expensive. Not just the sticker price. All the things that go with it.
Yes. And the salt water is going to like more wear and tear on your home. So definitely, keep all of that in mind. Traffic. How do you feel about the traffic? I mean, what was the traffic like in Buffalo? How would you compare?
I don't remember it being terrible.
Okay.
Downtown Buffalo, I mean, you've got like the roundabouts and the one-way streets which Pensacola doesn't have a whole lot of one-way streets.
Yeah.
I remember as a very young driver being like accidentally going down a one-way street
in Pensacola?
No.
In Buffalo. Oh, okay.
Because they were like every other street in Buffalo.
Okay.
The traffic was not terrible, except if it was a blizzard.
Yes. That like changes everything.
Oh yeah. But I feel like in Buffalo, we never really went anywhere that was more than like a 15-minute drive.
Yeah.
Like everything was just closer. And so to go anywhere like 45-minute driving was like, oh God, I don't want to go there. And like I went to college an hour away from my house, and I would come home on the weekends because I had a job in Buffalo, and I'd go back and forth, and like that was like such a big hassle in my brain at the time. Now I'm like, I drive an hour any given day. Like I drove a half an hour to drop my kid off at his homeschool thing co-op today. And then so like I was in the car for an hour, and then it was just like driving on regular streets. Like
So do you feel like the traffic is bad here?
Yes.
You didn't even hesitate.
No.
Okay.
Because our area is growing so much so fast, our streets are not prepared. They're just not. Like they build and then they decide what to do with the road. Like
the roads are like an afterthought.
And my studio is about it could be anywhere between 12 minutes and 35 minutes away from my house.
Depending on traffic. Okay.
So typically, like I kind of have it down to where I know when is a good time to go. But I work on Woodbine, and so I have to take Berry Hill to Woodbine. And so they have redone this one road twice now in the last 2 years. And they're still like, the plan is to make Berry Hill 4 lanes.
I know.
And
like that's going to take
we
forever.
Just repaved it this summer, and then we repaved it last summer. Why?
I know. It's like, why wasn't this thought through? Right. And then they're building like those big neighborhoods. On Berry Hill.
So many new homes coming in. They just put a Walmart on there.
There's a Wawa coming
and
in
a
across
Wawa
the
coming.
street.
There's something else on that other corner. So the Walmart's here, the Wawa's here, and then there's something going, I can't remember, probably Dollar General. I pass $4, I think $3 or $4 Generals on my way to the dance studio every day.
Yeah, there'll be like Facebook comments here every time like somebody's
it's a front for something. I just know it.
Somebody's like, what are they building at such and such
Dollar
corner?
General.
And somebody's like, probably another Dollar General or
storage or a car wash.
Yes, I was
one of those three things.
I'm gonna say storage, car wash. Yes, because those are like exploding all over the place. So, okay, well, I will say my experience of traffic is like, it depends on where you're coming from.
That is true. I mean, driving the Beltway in Maryland.
Yes. Oh my gosh. I got stuck on the
worse.
Beltway one time. And like I hopped on, here's the Beltway. We hopped on here. I was trying to get to the IKEA, which was over here. Yeah. Well, I didn't understand how the Beltway worked. And so my in-laws were visiting. And so I hopped on and took them south.
Oh.
So meant we went like all like this. And we were stuck for like 2.5 hours. And after that,
I was in labor stuck on the Beltway.
Oh my gosh.
That was fun.
Oh
it was 9:30 at night.
Yes.
You're still stuck on 95.
Yes, there's like always traffic on the Beltway.
And so that is worse.
Yes.
But
and so I feel like, okay, coming from Toronto, where it's like everywhere you go is like an hour or over an hour. And you're like, I mean, Toronto, last time I was there, I counted, I think it was like 16 lanes.
Wow.
I mean,
going into the city?
On the highway.
Oh, yeah.
On the highway, 16 lanes, like 16 lanes full of cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes bumper to bumper. It's like, I know this is where road rage comes from because you're so angry. You're
stuck.
You're stuck there. And so I feel like for me, coming from that, this is a breeze to me. This is nothing.
It's just the logistics of it.
Yeah. Yes. You just have to plan for extra time. Yeah. And I will say, like, we both live in Milton. And so if I have to go to Pensacola, I love to just go down Avalon and hop on 10.
Yeah, so driving around downtown Pensacola, getting around on our highways is so easy.
Yes,
I will say that. I mean, you can get anywhere. Yeah. My parents, they have since done the snowbird thing, so they have a house in New York, and then they have a house in Buffalo, or in down actually in Cantonment, which is about 35 minutes from where I live, and it's super easy to just zip over. But we did appreciate that because we were kind of still fresh from like Baltimore, DC area when we moved to Pensacola, and I was like, oh, this is super easy.
Yes.
And I went to school in Rochester, New York, which has one of the most confusing. It's called the Inner Loop. And the most confusing thing, like when I first got there, it was like just the way it's set up, like getting off, I always got off on the wrong exit. But Pensacola is really easy to navigate.
Yes, it really is. And so I feel like some roads get congested. So Pace and Milton has seen a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And so we've got one main road running through Pace and Milton, which is Highway 90. And so that, compared to 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
even 10 years ago, when we moved to where our house is now, we actually turned that house down originally because we're like, it's too far out.
Yeah.
We there's nobody out there. Like,
you did?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
We're like, it's so far. And then now we're like, there's too many people.
Yes.
We need to get out.
Now you're like, it's not far enough. Yeah. Like, I got to go further. Yeah. So I will say, because I like just getting to the interstate, if I have to go from Milton to, let's say I have, I play pickleball and I have a tournament at UWF, and so I have to drive through Pace.
Yeah, that's hard.
I feel like driving from Milton all the way through Pace, it's just that it's slow.
Yeah.
That's the only thing about it.
And the lights aren't timed right.
Right. And so it's just slow. Yeah. And it's like,
I got to bring my New York driving out.
Yeah. It's like, sometimes I'm like, move out of the way. Move out, or even, when we go down Glover to get on 90, it's like the people that don't know how to merge, they just stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, drive. Yeah. And then when I first moved down here, I remember in Toronto, kind of embarrassed to admit this, but it's like you use your horn all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'll never forget one time I was in the car with Jeff, and it was like the person in front of us wasn't going. So I leaned over and I pressed the horn. He's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm telling them to go. He's like, we don't use the horn here. And I said,
although that is changing.
Yeah, that is changing. And I said, well, we use it up north. He's like, well, he was not very nice about this. He's like, yeah, that's because you guys are rude Northerners. And so I did have to learn. Yeah, I was like, okay, maybe I need to tone it down a bit and be a little more patient.
Yeah.
So I have learned to be a little bit more patient. Okay, let's see. No state income tax.
Yes. Coming from New York, that is a big one.
Yeah.
So all I pay are my federal taxes, which is fantastic. So there's no extra state filing. Yeah.
That's a big deal.
Huge difference.
I feel like when I ask people like why they chose to move here, people always have like an interesting story of why they came here. Sometimes I've had people that were stationed here like 30 years ago and they said they loved it and they always wanted to come back.
There's so many people like, because in our homeschool co-op, because it's worldwide, a lot of military families, like I would say 90% of our co-op are military families, because it's so easy to just like, we have one of our families, they just got stationed. Well, not just, they've been there for, I think, almost 2 years now. They got stationed in Okinawa. Well, they just went to a community in Okinawa, and everybody worldwide is doing the same curriculum at the same time. So like you can easily get plugged into a community wherever you move. We have friends that just moved to Scotland for the year, and now their homeschool co-op, the closest one to them is about 45 minutes away. So they decided not to, but actually,
but that's not bad. 45 minutes is not bad.
But their oldest they'll FaceTime Chaz in the middle of the day. And so he's still a part of our community. And so he like still does school with them and does all the same work. And but a lot of people been stationed in this area, been moved off to wherever, and then when they retire, they come back here.
Yeah.
And, I mean, it is a really great area to live. I especially appreciate just the difference. Like we could be down at the beach on white sand, crystal blue water beaches and I've been to the Caribbean, I've been like all over. These are some of the best beaches I've ever been to. Like what, 40 minutes?
Yeah.
30,
I'd say
45?
For us from Milton is about 35, 40 minutes.
Yeah, to get down to Navarre. Navarre Beach is really beautiful too. I know you're talking about favorite beaches. Yeah. That's my other favorite.
Okay.
Gabby loves a little farther. But yeah, Navarre Beach is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So yeah, we could be down on the beach. But then we have Blackwater River, which is in like these gorgeous cedar forests and like go hiking and canoeing and tubing. And I mean, that's
zip lining.
The whole outdoor world, like ropes course kind of thing. But yeah, and another 20 minutes the other direction. So there's a lot of different options in this area, like things to do outside with your family. And it's just, it's a nice mix. I feel like it's definitely, when somebody calls me and they're telling me and they say that they're thinking about the area, one of my first questions to people is like, do you love a big city? Because, for example, my sister loves a big city. Yeah. And so I feel like for somebody that loves a big city, this is not it. Yeah, immediately I'm like, depending on their answer, I'm either going to be like, you're going to love it, or this is not for you, because this is a small city. And so I feel like there is everything that you need here, but on a much smaller scale. Yeah. So I remember when we moved first, we're like, let's go. So we're used to going downtown DC, down to the city center. And we're like, let's go to the downtown Pensacola city center. We couldn't find it.
Yes.
Like there isn't one.
Well, okay, when I moved 20 years ago, we were visiting. I think we hadn't like bought the home yet. And so we went to like the melting pot. And so we stopped at the gas station after, and I asked the attendant, I was like, hey, where's like downtown? And he's like, there is no downtown.
Like, what do you mean?
Like back then there was no, it's like Quint Studer came in and revitalized downtown in Halifax. And so now downtown Pensacola is very walkable and it's got a bunch of shops. But 20 years ago, it did not. Yeah. And there's some really cool historic, like the Children's Museum is really cool. There's actually several children's museums. But like the historical one, my parents will, when they're visiting, they'll often take the kids there and they love it. They get to like dress up. Oh, how cute. Very cute. But there's a lot of cool stuff for kids. They've just made this really cool skate park under the highway. Oh, nice. One of my kids is a skateboarder. And so Ryan. Oh, okay. Yes. He's my like daredevil. Yeah, I figured it was not Will. No. But yeah, it's a really beautiful
park. And actually in the summers, they have a group that comes and will, I think it's Thursday mornings, they have people that like coach the skateboarding. So they'll help the kids and they'll teach them, and like it's free and you can just show up. And
that's awesome.
It was really cool. We went once with a friend, and we went kind of towards the end of the year end of the summer before school started. So we didn't have a chance to get back. But it was really fun. We'll definitely go again.
Oh, nice.
But yeah, there's some really great restaurants downtown, especially if you like seafood. And I mean, it's cute. It's small. It's easy to park and then walk.
Speaking of parking, I mean, like, I feel like if you go to downtown Toronto, you're easily going to spend like $50 on parking.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, I went to the Greek festival. I mean, they were offering parking for like $20.
Yeah.
But I found a spot for free.
Yeah, I did too.
Across the street from the church.
Same weekend of the Greek Fest, which I think was a very bad planning. Like, why was the Greek Fest the same as the Arts Fest? Like, anyway,
I know.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not in charge. But we had the Greater Gulf Coast Arts Fest downtown, which is huge. And I mean, it's hard to find a place to park at all because there's so much there. So they often have really great festivals, food festivals, food truck things. And so there's definitely always something to do. Even in Milton, I mean, we have bands on the Blackwater every weekend during the summers. There's farmers markets, a couple of them a week in the Milton Pace area. So yeah, there's always something to do. So it's a fun town.
It's a great place. So
it's small. It is. I mean, you know, you get to the point where you're like, oh, I know this person and this person.
Yes, but I kind of like that. I like that.
Like, oh, you're friends with so and so.
Yes, like that's that whole 6 degrees of separation.
Yeah, it definitely you feel like part of a community.
Yeah,
here.
I do like that. So
even us in
us northerners. Well, we could probably go on and on talking forever about like different things. So we hope that you have enjoyed this time with us learning about the area. And if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything that there is to know about living in the area, things to do, homes for sale, things to look out for, then hit that subscribe button below. And that way you can learn about everything there is to know about living in the Panhandle. So thank you guys so much for watching. And if you like this video, please leave us a comment down below. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Bye.